Hi everyone, welcome to Silly Slime Monsters. I'm Miss Julia, and in today's video we're going to be making our glow-in-the-dark slime. For this project you will need one of your empty containers with the lid, your spoon, your glow-in-the-dark powder, your contact solution, and baking soda. I'm going to use my white glue for this, but remember you can also use your clear glue instead. You might want your food coloring, and I'm also going to show making mine glow-in-the-dark slime with googly eyes. So I'm going to use some of my googly eyes as well. You can choose to either put in some googly eyes or not put them in. It's your slime and you can make it how you would like. You can pause the video here and go get your supplies. Now that you've had a chance to get your supplies, I'm going to move some things out of the way. The first thing I'm going to do is take my glue and I'm going to put about half of it into my container. If you are doing this on your own, you might want to open up the top like this and squeeze out about half. Or you can also take off this part of the cap for easier pouring. But make sure to ask your grown-up before you take off the cap part this way. So I'm going to pour about half of my glue in. And I'm looking inside to guess about where half is, and sometimes you can also see it on the side of the bottle. I think I need just a little bit more. It doesn't have to be exact. It's okay if some of your slimes are bigger than the others. And also the recipe that we're using works pretty well regardless of if you get the amounts exactly right. So I have about half of my glue in my container now, and the next step is where I'm going to add in most of my things. So I've got my baking soda, my glow-in-the-dark powder, and my food coloring. And I'm going to put the googly eyes in later, so I'll leave them off to the side still. The first thing I'm going to do is put in some baking soda. If you want to use measuring spoons from at home, you're going to put in about 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. If you don't have measuring spoons or don't want to use them, that's okay. We'll put in about a half to a fourth of what's on your spoon. You can also measure it out in pinches. So for me, it would probably be about 3 big pinches. Or you can put in 4 just to be safe. You can also use 3 fingers to make your pinches if your hands are smaller than mine. So I put in about 4 big pinches, but you might need to use 4 big 3-finger pinches. Then I'm going to put in my glow-in-the-dark powder. This is about 1/4 of a teaspoon of glow-in-the-dark powder, but it will be enough to do our whole slime with. Then I can choose a color if I'd like. I think I'll put a few drops of blue in mine. And maybe I'll also do 1 drop of yellow to make it more of a teal color. I think that could look really cool. That one was kind of hard to open. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do now that I have my baking soda, my glow powder, and a little food coloring is I'm going to mix everything together. I want to make sure that everything is really well mixed so that all of the baking soda is distributed throughout the glue and the glow powder is as well. And this is also the stage that if you don't like the color that your slime is right now, you'll want to change the color now by adding more food coloring. So this is a little more green than I would like it. I would like mine to be a little more teal. So I'm going to add in a few extra drops of blue and carefully pick out the little cap part that fell off. Don't want that in my slime. So I'll go ahead and mix in the extra blue. You want to make sure that you add in the food coloring now before you turn this into slime, because otherwise it will be very hard to change the color and you'll mostly just end up getting food coloring all over the place. It won't be very fun to play with that way. So I like that color better. The next thing I'm going to do is grab my contact solution, and I'm going to start with about a tablespoon of contact solution, or a little bit less. So I'm just going to use my spoon and measure about 1 spoonful. And it's okay that it has some of the glue on it already. We're going to mix everything together. So you can see it's already started to do the reaction and turn into slime. So I want to start mixing so we can turn everything into slime. Do you see how it's pulling away from the sides of the container? That's what you want to see. I'm also going to use my hands to help mix a little bit too. If you don't like how it feels, you can just use your spoon, or you can even use one of the baggies that everything came in, like one of the little ones, put everything in there and use that to knead instead of using your hands, so one of these bags. So you can put everything in there and knead it together if you don't want to touch your slime. That's a fun way to play with slime if you don't like how it feels very much. But I don't mind how it feels, so I'm going to touch it with my hands and help kind of knead in and work in the rest of my mixture together so that everything pulls away from the sides of my container and the bottom and becomes one mixture. If you have a little bit of extra of your contact solution, that's okay. You can just discard it or put it in the sink, but you'll want to make sure to grab everything, and I'll get rid of the extra liquid there. And now that I have everything together, that's what my slime looks like. And now that my slime is made into slime, what I'm going to do is grab some of my googly eyes and add just a few. I don't want to use too many because they'll fall out if I use too many, but if I use just a few, they'll stick in. So I'll place them on top and then I can mix them into my slime. I'm also going to put in a clip here of my slime in a dark room so that you can see how it can glow in the dark. That's really cool. Well, I hope you enjoy making and playing with your glow-in-the-dark slime. I know this one is one of my favorites. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!